The M1 actually changes our whole approach to what we do with things, because it's markets that were untapped for us previously, and that is a big market, a very big market. In the UK, pre-COVID, there was around about 1,000 verticals a year being sold. You know, we can make a dent onto that and give customers a great opportunity.
Now, DMG MORI have been very clever launching this machine, the M1, a VMC. Obviously, quite a popular marketplace for VMCs, but in your view, Paul, is this value for money?
Well, it's a very affordable machine, and it was part of their mantra. When you look at the market consumption for VMCs, it's around about 1,000 machines a year in the UK. Now, bringing this model in will enable them to get to an area of the market which maybe they've not cracked in the same sense that they have with some of their other machines, you know, in history. Basically, because of the quality and the affordability together as a pair are clear to see.
Now, the way this is configured, the actual machine, it looks quite a rigid machine to me, so I would imagine surface finishes are quite important, but also can you cut hard materials on it?
Yeah, I mean, this has got a monolithic design. Now, they've really gone into this to design a machine that's going to provide that longevity. It's going to provide a machine that can machine accurately, can do, you know, great surface finishes across material sets. You'll see here the x-axis will move on the column, so the table's fixed, which means you can get 600 kilograms onto a table like this, and you're not having to move that. You're not having the inertia of wearing, you know, parts on the machine by the part moving on the table. All the work is done on the head. So they have paid a lot of attention to how they built the machine, but they've had to do it to an economies of scale perspective as well, where they bring it in at a level which I know you're going to talk about. The affordability of this is quite, you know, quite outstanding.
And it's quite flexible now because there's 3 versions. There's an entry level or a basic version, there's a mid, and also there's a plus. And I presume that you can have different configurations on the actual spindle, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at the vertical machining centre market. It's massive. I mean, I mentioned 1,000 machines. There's not many machine shops we go in that haven't got VMCs and need them. You know, whether you're doing the most simplest of machining operations right the way up to profiling, contouring, whatever it might be, high-speed surfacing, a VMC is a critical part of a manufacturing process. This machine can come with various options, but as standard you're looking at 24 tools, 10,000 RPM, you're looking at 550 in the X and 550 in the Y. You're looking at it coming with a Siemens 828D control, which is an industrially standard piece of equipment or control software. You've also got great access to the machine. You've got an open top if you needed some crane parts in there. So you've got a machine here that's really built for industry and ready to go.
And when you buy into DMG MORI, it's not just the actual machine, it's the backup, it's the training. So really you just have to buy your fixturings, I suppose.
Yeah, fixturing, tooling would be the extras that you need, but everything else, whether you want through spindle coolant, whether you want, you know, measurement probing, all of these things can be added to this machine. I think people looking to get into the DMG MORI journey, people looking that, you know, if they buy a machine like this and it proves to be a success, which I'm sure it will, it could then take them onto 5-axis, could then take them onto multitasking. It could help them grow their company because they're working in a partnership with a business of, you know, such a magnitude that, you know, the affordability is one thing, but you know, the brand that you're buying into is obviously important too.
And when you're buying into DMG, you're also looking at the carbon neutral side, because it's very important for companies to actually sort of buy a machine where they can actually offset.
Yeah, exactly. There's all kinds of levies and taxes. I don't know the details, but what I do know, what they put into making these machines carbon neutral, you don't see in a lot of places. And I know they've done a lot of business with companies that have invested in their machines because of the things we're talking about, but also because it helps them with that carbon neutral perspective. And it's some feat to be able to go through their whole supply chain and make everything, or make sure that everything is carbon neutral.
I think this is a bit of a game changer, this machine. If you've always wanted like a Rolls-Royce DMG MORI, this is very affordable, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and you're going to tell us exactly how affordable it is.
Now the great thing is the DMG MORI UK do have stock of the M1. There is 3 varieties, but the middle variety, for instance, if you actually, you took a payment option of 6 months, £1,000 over 5 years. I mean, that is just fantastic, and they have stock.
So that means you've got nothing to pay for 6 months, and then it's only £1,000 a month for the next 4.5 years. Is that right? Or 5 years after?
Correct. And obviously all the finance runs across all their machines.
The M1 fills a gap that we previously didn't have in our product range, and we can now put this into customers that we could never talk to previously because we didn't have a vertical machine that was competitively priced.